Hey everybody, it's Nick Lydorf. How you doing? I am here. It's another episode of Off the Clock. I am gonna do another sovereign citizen video. I've done this is 73 videos, Facebook Live videos in a row. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And I'm kind of just loving every minute of catching up on all these sovereign citizen videos that I've missed in the last 15 years of practicing law. So this one is a right to travel. This is on Balion's channel. I've not seen much of it. I just saw the first 30 seconds of it. So I'm going to get this pulled up here and then going to give my kind of reaction to this based on being a criminal defense lawyer and actually a lawyer and studying the Constitution and the laws of the United States. I'm a practicing attorney in Michigan, and let's see what this guy's got to say.
Well, you're here, sir. Last but not least.
Blessing, sir.
Can I have your first and last name?
Yes, I'm here by special appearance, sui juris, Kevin Ladwig.
Can you spell your
Special appearance,
L-A-D-W-I-G.
sui juris.
Okay, here we go.
Means he's fully here to act on his own behalf without any limitations.
Oh, you called my office, didn't you? Okay. So, but for the record, we didn't talk. We haven't spoken, right? Because it's not appropriate for me to do that. Okay, so this is TOW 822-54. Let's see. Okay.
May I ask one thing for the record?
I'm sorry?
May I ask one thing for the record?
Sure.
Are you on oath? Do you have a constitutional oath?
Do I have a constitutional oath? Well, yes, I took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Illinois.
Excellent.
I'm a practicing attorney, so yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
So this is, all right, let me take a look here. So the underlying alleged charges are driving while license suspended.
Is that his briefcase?
With less than 10 grams. Speeding is not a basis for the tow. We've got no insurance, and then driving with expired license plates. And so this allegedly occurred back on August the 10th of this year. So you're contesting the validity of the tow?
Yes.
Okay. So what would you like to tell me?
All right. Please let
Wait.
me finish.
Wait, this is a tow? So he's questioning whether or not a tow was valid, and I'd be interested to see whether he was able to disprove the basis for the stop originally, because I think that would be the only way that you could. I've never seen anything like this before. So maybe in Illinois you can challenge the validity of a tow, but in Michigan I've never seen anything like this. So this is interesting news to me that you could do this. Is this his briefcase that he left in the middle? It's interesting. All right, let's see what he's got to say.
All right.
Well, as long as you're relevant to the proceedings, I'm happy to let you.
Very relevant.
Thank
Very
you, sir.
relevant, sir. Supreme Court decisions are considered the law of the land in regards to constitutionally protected rights, and they cannot be interpreted or reinterpreted as they are stare decisis, already reviewed and described as law. 1. Federal law and Supreme Court cases apply to state court cases. Howell versus Rose.
Okay.
496 U.S. 356, 1990. No state shall convert a liberty into a privilege, license it, and attach a fee to it. Murdoch versus Penn, 319 U.S. 105. If the state converts a liberty into a privilege, the citizen can engage in the right with impunity. Shuttlesworth versus Birmingham, 373 U.S. 262. Operation of a motor vehicle upon public streets and highways is not a mere privilege, but is a right or liberty protected by the guarantees of federal and state constitutions. Adams versus City of Pocatello, 416 P2D 46. The right to travel on the public highway is a constitutional right. Tech Lines versus Danford, Mississippi, 12 SO 2D 784 787. Anything that is a right cannot be subject to conditions or licensing. Lane versus Wilson, 307 U.S. 268 275. Every state law must conform in the first place to the Constitution of the United States and then to the subordinate constitution of the particular state. And if it infringes upon the provisions of either, it is so far void. Houston versus Moore, 18 U.S. 1 5 LED 19. And the Constitution itself is in every sense a law. Carter versus Carter Coal Company, 298 U.S. 140, 296, 1935. No sanction can be imposed absent proof of jurisdiction. Standard versus Olson, 74. SCT 768. With no injured party, a complaint is invalid on its face. Gibson versus Boyle, 139 Arizona 512. The right of a citizen to travel upon the public highway and to transport his property thereon in the ordinary course of life and business is a common right which he has under his right to enjoy life and liberty, to acquire and possess property, and to pursue happiness and safety. It includes the right in doing so to use the ordinary and usual conveyances of the day, and under the existing modes of travel include the right to drive a horse-drawn carriage or wagon thereof, or to operate an automobile thereon for the usual and ordinary purpose of life and business. It is not a mere privilege, like the privilege of moving a house in the street, operating a business stand in the street, or transporting persons or property for hire along the street, which a city may permit or prohibit at will. Thompson versus Smith, 154, SE 579 at 583. Therefore, Federal Code Law, Title 42, Section 666, which indicates that we can't buy, sell, travel, trade, or work without a Social Security number, is seemingly in direct violation of the Supreme Court decisions which invalidate Title 42, Section 666. It is unconstitutional to require one to have a Social Security number and driver's license to travel. Criminal and statutory jurisdiction. All persons are presumed to know the law. If any person acts under any unconstitutional statute, he does so at his own peril. He must take the consequences. 16 AM Jur 177, 1781. Person is not criminally responsible unless criminal intent accompanies wrongful act. Gasho versus U.S. 39F 3D 1420, 9th Circuit, 1994. If an administrative officer or agency acts outside the scope of its authority or jurisdiction, its act are null and void. Doolin versus Carr, 125 U.S. 618. When federal officials perpetrate constitutional torts, they do so ultra vires and lose the shield of sovereign immunity. Williams versus U.S. Department of Agriculture, 815 F2D 369. Decency, security, and liberty alike demand that government officials shall be subject to the rules of conduct that are commands to the citizens. U.S. versus Olmstead, 277 U.S. 438, 1928. Remedy. The Constitution provisions that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor private property taken for public use without compensation, are intended as limitations upon the power of the government in its dealings with the citizens, and relates to that class of rights whose protection is peculiar within the province of the judicial branch of government, and that the courts are bound to give remedy for unlawful invasion of rights of property by officers of any breach of government. United States versus Lee, 106 U.S. 196, 1882. I also would like to stand on the Fifth Amendment.
Okay. So by saying that, you're indicating to me you won't answer any of my questions, which you don't have to.
That is not what I'm indicating. I'm indicating that I have to be compensated for property that has
okay.
been seized.
All right, so
Okay.
You did submit a written
Affidavit,
motion or
yes,
brief
yes.
to the Village of Lombard.
I did.
I've read that, as part of the packet here. I've reviewed the police report and some various other documents.
I've got video on it also.
I'm sorry?
I've got video on it also.
Okay.
And then they did claim in the inventory report, they defamed my character by claiming that I'm a sovereign citizen, which is basically a known establishment for terrorism. So by doing that, defaming my character on that, and defaming my legal documents,
Okay.
which are actually Supreme Court cites. So,
Right, yeah, and I've examined what you provided to the village.
I do have more if you would like.
I'm sorry?
I do have more if you would like.
Okay. No, at this point, I'm very comfortable with your position, and, you know, I respect that.
Thank you, sir.
So, looking at the records provided to me, it does appear that on the date of the alleged violation, you didn't have a valid driver's license. Is that correct?
In the state of Illinois, don't need a driver's license.
Okay.
He asked you a question. Did you have a valid driver's license? It's a pretty simple question. It's one that I've seen all of the time. So, all in these sovereign citizens videos, if you want to make these arguments, you can definitely do it. But if you're going to get shot down, obviously. But he's made the argument. This person, which I don't understand. What are we in? Just like an administrative hearing? It looks like, because I think this is just a lawyer who's making a determination whether or not this tow of his vehicle after the arrest and traffic stop was valid. And so if he wants to make that argument that the arrest was unlawful, he would need to do that in the criminal court. And then if he wins, then he has certain remedies available to him. But then arguing that in this, I'm curious to see what I want to hear what this administrative law judge or attorney magistrate is going to say happened in this other case, because that's kind of, I'm kind of confused why. I mean, you can make this argument now, but you're like in the wrong court to make that argument. Like, you can't just go to an appeals court and make an argument for the first time in an appeals court. You have to, preserve those issues on at the trial court level before you can make those. So it's kind of like jumping a couple different steps here. So I want to see what happened in the original trial court action that resulted from the arrest and traffic stop. So let's see if they talk about that here.
Yeah, because I'm showing that you didn't have a valid license. I also see that your plates were expired. Were your plates expired?
I'm on a contract with the Secretary of State in the Department of Motor Vehicle.
Okay.
So yes, I've excluded myself from all the contracts.
Okay.
UCC 1308 without prejudice.
Okay. All right. So because what I'm seeing from the record indicates that the plates were expired, and both of those are bases for towing of the vehicle.
It's not
and
a
there's
commercial.
possession of the cannabis.
It's not a commercial vehicle.
Okay. Thank you. Did you also have cannabis on your person?
I did.
Okay, I appreciate your candor. I do. Speeding isn't a concern for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, as I said earlier, I'm an attorney. I've been doing these hearings for quite a while now. I have reviewed the documents and the citations that you have referred to me. I don't find them persuasive. You do have the right to travel on the public ways, but you have to have a valid driver's license, and you have to have...
By what law?
Well, hang on. I let you talk. Okay. Let me talk.
Very well.
Because we're on the record here, and I want to make sure. Yeah. So, and this is my finding, and the Supreme Court's very clear on points that, that right to travel on the public roads can be conditioned on things like having a driver's license for operating a motor vehicle, having valid registration on that motor vehicle. There's a host of things, and there's plenty of case law on that point. So, well, let me finish. So, based on that and the fact that there doesn't seem to be any issue of fact related to the validity of the license, the possession of cannabis, and the expiration of the license plates, I do unfortunately have to enter a finding of liable. The amount of the administrative fee will be that $500 that I mentioned at the beginning of the hearing.
And you're going to compensate me then?
So that's not my rule.
According to the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Sir, that's my finding.
That's not a finding.
I'm not going to argue the case with you. As
Really?
I said in the beginning.
Okay. Under what jurisdiction?
As I said.
Under what jurisdiction? You have no jurisdiction.
Okay. So if you're not going to let me finish, I'm not.
Okay. Go ahead. You're right.
You do have the right to file an appeal if you disagree with my findings.
There you go.
You have 35 days to file that appeal in the Circuit Court of the 18th Judicial Circuit. Okay? You understand that right?
I do not understand.
Okay. Well, I've explained it twice.
I am asking.
So you should.
I'm asking and demanding that you honor your oath that you have taken.
Thank you, sir.
And recognize the Supreme Court findings. that I stated earlier.
So let's say that the guy appearing on his own, arguing his own case, let's assume that he's right, and which he's not, but let's assume that he is right. So if you have a judge that is arguing, that's already made a finding, you're at some point you're just going to have to accept that finding, and then he has the right to file an appeal. He can file that appeal, and he was advised of his rights of appeal. There's no point in arguing with him. If you believe that you're right, then you can have that other forum to make your arguments, assuming that they were. It sounds like you filed some sort of brief in response to this, but there's really no point in arguing with this attorney magistrate, or I don't know what to really address him as, but judge. I don't know, but if he's wrong, then you can win, and then you can make your file some sort of civil action, requesting damages against whomever. But that's for another day. So I understand these people are very they think that they're right, and they're feel very they're just very passionate about what they want, but there's nothing that you can do. So just just live to fight another day and file your appeal, and then see what happens. You're going to lose. I mean, that's just what's going to happen, because the law is not on your side. You may think it is, but it's just not. And so, all right, well, let's keep going, see what happens.
I do not need a license. I do not need a license to drive my personal property, which is an automobile. Do not need it. Registration for a motor vehicle on an automobile.
Thank you, sir. That is not my finding. All right, so we have that order printed up for you. You can get a copy from the clerk station over there.
Hold on. Get this right. This is not the end.
Oh, jeez.
Notice record, time is now 9:57 a.m. No one else.
That's kind of scary. He's like, this is not the end. That's kind of a weird thing to say in court. It's interesting that this guy actually had plates on the vehicle, and then it's not. He admitted that he did his registration was expired. So I'm guessing that I know in Michigan we have that little tab that's on our license. So he has at least played the game, I guess, according to these people, up until this point, where he's doing something he didn't have to do, and then just let it expire. So I'm curious to know why he would do that, other than maybe he just had this epiphany. Someone told him hey, did you know you didn't have to have a license at all? And he's like, oh shit, really? I can get out of this. And then he makes this argument from watching these guys like Mark Stevens or whatever his name is. I don't know. I'm starting to watch some of these videos, but they all blur together. So it's interesting to see. You got a couple of minutes left to see what happens.
Is in the audience with regards to balancing administrative code.
All right, Mr. Valley, there's a warrant for your arrest. Put your hands behind your back.
Uh-oh.
Really? Now I'm being accosted.
There's a warrant for your arrest. You are under arrest.
By what authority? You have not provided any documentation yet. You have not provided any documentation.
We will.
This is not a resist. This is no documentation. Do you have an order signed by a judge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
I have to be at the station.
Oh, now it's at a station. You're arresting me without paperwork.
Okay, we need the paperwork.
Really? Okay.
We only have to provide it to you later.
Okay.
Which we will.
Do you want her to take this?
Yes,
out?
please.
Okay.
Yes.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, go ahead.
You just not show up for court?
You guys are funny.
Over this way.
I mean, why would you go to the
guys are
filing,
silly,
filing all these briefs and everything, and just not
You
showing up
guys are
for
breaking the
court?
law. Acting outside. Yeah.
That truck.
No.
He took a very simple thing, which is just having weed, which in Michigan isn't even a crime anymore,
Knives.
No, sir.
and driving on a suspended license and tabs,
Yes.
and took it. Now he's being arrested. This is just dumb.
You want your friend to take this?
No.
Well, it's not going to go with you, so it's going to be taken off your person.
Take this.
I can actually, because you do not have anything on your person
Yeah.
when you get arrested.
Really? All right. So you're refusing me on that, huh? Will you hold it then? So that way this can all
It'll go with you.
$100 there. And we'll load it.
Do you want her to take any of this stuff, or do you want it?
Yes, have her take that, please.
Ma'am!
Mickey,
Ma'am!
can you please take my money?
Do you want her to take this or no?
No.
Okay, well,
She needs to view this.
it's going to be put into property, so you're not going to have.
All right,
use of
I'll
it.
have her take that. I will have her take that. Okay.
Man. Did you hear?
It's on?
Did you hear what she said? She's like, record what?
The camera.
Yeah, they're just doing their job. Oh man, see, yeah, definitely watch Van Balion's channel because he's got a lot of great videos. Yeah, this is just crazy. Why? This is so simple. It's so I'm trying to piece all this stuff together, but the guy goes into the court and he files a brief challenging the tow of his vehicle after he got stopped and arrested for having weed in the car and driving on a suspended license. Very simple things that aren't serious at all. And so then it sounds like the gets a ticket or something, which he probably just got a ticket because the officers gave him a break and didn't arrest him on the scene, or they arrested him and then told him he had to go to he was arraigned and then had to go to court, and then he just failed to show up for court. But then he goes and has this administrative hearing and goes to the trouble of filing all these briefs with all these Supreme Court cases and all this kind of stuff. And then at some point he just didn't show up for court and he's got a warrant. Why would you do that? It just doesn't make any sense. You can make all these arguments. Like, I don't agree with anything that they're saying, right? But like, you could just show up and make the argument. And then if you get shot down and you get denied by whatever judge, then you have the right of appeal. You can appeal all this stuff. If you got such a great case, then don't give them a reason for you to just be sitting in jail for any period of time, especially on a weed case. No one gives a shit about weed anymore. In Michigan, like, it's not even a crime. And I'm sure in Illinois, I don't know if Illinois is now, but it's not a big deal. So it's just crazy to me that's like, that he ends up going to jail after all that trouble when all he had to do was show up for court. That's just crazy to me. But all right, well, that's episode 73. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for your likes and subscriptions. And yeah, shoot me a message if you want any videos you want me to take a look at. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right, take care.